Hi, welcome to episode 2 of Make Your Computer Run Like New. If you join me after episode 1, great to see you back. If you just dropped by today, then it's really good to see you. You might want to go back to episode 1 to start from the beginning, or just jump in here. In this episode, we're looking at what Task Manager can tell us about our computer. Let's get down to it. In episode 1, we looked at system information to get a basic idea about the computer's setup and specification. Now we need to see how the computer is performing. For this, we need to look at Task Manager. And there are two ways to start Task Manager. Either go to an empty area of the taskbar and right-click to bring up this menu, and then left-click on Task Manager, as this, or alternatively, press the Control, Shift and Escape keys at the same time. Either way will bring up Task Manager. Now we've got Task Manager up, we're going to focus on it, so I've zoomed in. Now, if Task Manager looks like this to you, you need to click More Details at the bottom to expand it so we can see more about what's going on. We can now see how the computer is performing. First of all, let's look at the CPU. Now, CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. It's like the engine of the computer, and it tells us how hard the computer is working. In this case, it's not really doing much at all. But if the percentage is 6% or higher, that means the computer is starting to run out of speed and strength, and we need to see if we can close some programs down to help it. The one to the right is memory, or the RAM, Random Access Memory, we talked about earlier. Now, if this gets over 70%, then the computer is doing a lot of shuttling things about, and it makes the computer slow down dramatically. Again, we can reduce the number of programs that are open, or consider installing more memory to speed the computer up, but memory costs money. And if you have a 32-bit operating system, more than 3 gig isn't going to help you. The one to the right is disk. Now, the hard disk is the slowest part of the computer. And if you see a high percentage here, we need to run some tests on the disk. We'll be dealing with that in a later episode. If you're running a single computer, then the network column is really only of passing interest. And if you have a GPU column, this will tell you if you're running out of oomph when you're playing games, if you're into multi-shooters and things like that. Now, if you're finding the computer is freezing quite a lot, it's useful to try and keep Task Manager open and visible so you can see what the CPU figure is when the computer freezes. If it goes 100%, you've got a problem with a program hogging the memory. You can also click any heading, such as CPU or memory, to sort them in order and see what is being greedy on any particular resource you've got. We'll sort them back into name order again. The other useful tab at this stage is Startup. So let's click on Startup. Many programs install themselves to run when you start the computer. That means you'll save a second or two maybe when you want to use a program. But it's got 3 problems really. It takes the computer much longer to start because it's preloading everything. It uses up more memory, which you might not have enough of. And you may use a bit of CPU as well. And who knows, you might not even want to use a program on that session. So here in the Startup tab, we can control what programs start with the computer. Some are useful, but many aren't. What we do is right-click on the program name, and we can select Disable to stop the program running when the computer starts. If we know we've made a mistake, and we want to re-enable the computer, right-click again and enable it. Disabling the program doesn't uninstall the program or stop it running if you want it to run. It merely stops it automatically starting up when you start the computer. So we've now completed stage 2, which is finding out about the current performance of the computer, and then we can move on to the next stage. Great, so now we know all about Task Manager and how to find out how the computer is actually performing. If you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it useful, then I'd be really grateful if you could like the video and subscribe to the series so you can find out more, because I'm really looking forward to seeing you in episode 3 when we investigate safe mode to tell us more. See you soon.